Özel Eğitim ve
Minister of National Education, Director General for Special Education and Research and Project, Head of Department, Distinguished İsmail Gürlek, the Head of Department of this section, Distinguished Gülşen Özer, Distinguished Meltem Bektaş Bayram Bey from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of European Relations, distinguished participants, distinguished members of the press, Turkish Spastic Children Foundation is cooperating with the Ministry of National Education within the project called the I'm Present If I Exist, My School as a Whole.
Spastik Çocuklar Vakfı,
Turkish Spastic Children's Foundation of Turkey, the second chairman of the board. I would like to invite him to the rostrum, please, for his speech, Mr. İsmail Gürlek. Hello, distinguished participants. We are hosting you here in a very important event, and we have the honor to do. And I would like to, having said so, I would like to start with my remarks. Today, we are holding an event which we have been working on since April 2019, which has been supported by the European Union within the grant scheme of the fifth grant scheme of the civil society dialogue, which is named the If I Exist, My School as a Whole. So we know that we are going through a pandemic process, which is a very challenging time. And within this process, with our partners, we succeeded to overcome the problems. As a result, we have accessed our objectives in terms of inclusion and integration. And within this process, we have paved the way with the the Istanbul Governorate and in Istanbul Provincial Directorate of National Education and Praxis Europe Inclusion Support Center. They have made a contribution to this project, and I believe that they have made a great contribution to this project. And from the first day of this project, our partners have been making a great effort from the first day of the project, and I would like to extend my thanks to them. In meanwhile, they have always provided their support, and this is the institution, the CFCU, as well as the Ministry of European Relations. As the Turkish Spastic Children's Foundation, we have paid attention to scientific events and organizations. From the inclusion to integration, we have named this event as the Special Education Symposium with all aspects from inclusion to integration. And in this respect, for this project, we have always made the effort to include all the participants into this event, embracing all. And we also have our participants in this event will have an opportunity to get information and knowledge from related parties. And in meanwhile, the experts coming from the field, as well as the families and as well as the civil society organizations representatives will make presentations, and accordingly we will have the opportunity to listen to them. And the greatest opportunity is that we will have the panels where all the related parties will be speaking. And for 4 days, our event will last, and we will have 13 conferences and 6 panels, and we will have 13 foreign speakers. And we know that there is a great need for the field as well as the knowledge. So for that reason, in order to contribute, for that reason, we have organized this event. And our registries have already exceeded more than 3,000, and this is really good. And this extraordinary interest to this event has really made happy us, and also it encouraged us for future. And this, I hope that, and I believe that this event is a big opportunity for our country, and it will create a big opportunity for all the partners and participants. And soon I will give the floor to our distinguished speakers, and we will hear about the details of our project. And in meanwhile, we will hear and host the distinguished colleagues coming from abroad. And I'm also very excited to hear from them as well. And I would like to once again extend my thanks to my colleagues in the project, as well as to our partners for realization of this event, and as well as to our partners, and as well as to the participants and guests. And I would like to wish a prosperous meeting, and thank you very much.
Sayın İsmail Kemal Gürley'e.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismail Gürley, for the opening remarks. And now I would like to leave the floor to Ms. Bektaş Bayram from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, from the Department of European Relations. And thank you very much, Ms. Enes and Mr. Ismail. And first of all, I would like to greet you all on my behalf, as well as on behalf of my institution. This is really an important event, a very important project, and as unfortunately, as Mr. Ismail mentioned, this project was affected seriously from the pandemic, and we should have had this event face to face, but actually, since we have it online, there is an intense participation. This is really good, and accordingly, we're reaching a lot of people. As the presidency of the European Union, we have been providing our support to the civil society organization support, and one of the support is that civil society dialogue scheme, grant scheme. And so far, we have been actually implementing this civil society dialogue since 2005, and there have been more than 400 projects and more than 600 collaborations were made, established, and with the other civil society organizations. And the sixth implementation was started soon in April 2021, and we have started with the sixth grant scheme. And apart from this, we have a community support program, civil society support program. This has got the same objectives with the civil society grant scheme. It means that with a civil society organization, you have to partner with a foreign civil society organization. And within this project, we have partners from Croatia as well as from the UK. And within this civil society organization support program, there is no obligation that you have to have a foreign partner in order to strengthen the collaboration and cooperation between the community and civil society organization. We have got certain objectives, and this is not only limited with the civil society organization support program what we provide, and we have a lot of participants, and in this respect, I will inform from which page or which contact we may provide, obtain information related to the schemes. And I hope that this project, this event, will be prosperous and beneficial to all of you. And taking this opportunity, I would like to thank all of you, the Spastic Children's Foundation of Turkey, and as well as all the related parties for giving us an opportunity and organizing this event, and also for the contribution they have made to this dialogue. And once again, thank you very much. And I hope that this will be a prosperous and a training for all of you for 4 days. Thank you very much. So thank you, Ms. Meltem. Now, I would like to give the floor to the Chief of Section, Gülşen Özer, from the Istanbul Directorate of National Education. Hello to everyone. If I exist, my school is a whole project. Within this project, we're holding this symposium, and I would like to thank all the ones who have made effort for this organization and distinguished Levent Yazıcı, the distinguished Director of National Education, greets you all with respect, and I would like to give his message. And as we all know, we all exist with our differences, with all our differences, different aspects, and we are actually whole within this community, and we are part of that puzzle, and we're a part of that puzzle, and we're trying to fulfill our mission within this respect, and we're trying to do our best. And for that reason, we're just evaluating and taking this project within this project. And this project started in 2019, April, and we are pleased to be the part of this. And it's really valuable, and it's really a great honor on behalf of our Directorate of National Education, Regional Directorate. And I would like to thank to Spastic Children's Foundation of Turkey. And thanks to this project, of course, we are aiming to fulfill our duty to ensure not to have the school leave, and as well as to include as well as to ensure the inclusion and integration of all the children and students. And we know that students have need a lot of support all through of their lives in school. And within this project especially, we have 320 guide teachers, and we believe that this project will continue to be extended. And with this project, we will try to cover the deficits in the field, especially this pandemic process. And of course, for this pandemic, we're trying to access each other on screen. And because of this pandemic, unfortunately, we're harmed. And however, we have to underline that integration and inclusion students. And if we to add more, the students with special needs are actually affected by two folds. They are damaged by two folds, and it's valid for all fields indeed. And this year, the main theme of the National Congress of National Education was to ensure the equality in education. In order to ensure this, of course, we're continuing with our studies, and we're trying to establish a justice through inequalities, because we know that these students need more attention and need more support than the ones who do not need special training. And of course, within this process where we live this pandemic, we know that these disabled children who have special needs actually are affected by this situation more and more, and actually we have to pay attention more for them, and we shouldn't forget this. And this project and these studies, I believe that the most important aspect is that to determine the existing situation and also to create a solution for an existing problem, because within this symposium headings and topics, we know that many aspects will be touched upon and many things will have been learned by the participants. But I believe that with this event, we should identify new fields of problems, which means that for the following studies, or as mentioned by Ms. Meltem, where she left us a link for the certain studies of field, as mentioned, perhaps we actually have to identify certain solutions for certain problems. And of course, these are the results that would be derived from this event would guide us. And of course, we should not neglect that. We should identify the problems and solve the problems. And through integration and inclusion, we have many people on the way. And first of all, we have the targets as our students and their families, parents, as well as their teachers. Although among these three parties, we have the thought, indeed, there's also an issue that is not articulated very much. This is about the ones who are set aside. So these are not the students of inclusion or integration, because the greatest problem within the field is that we have difficulty to explain our problems who have no idea about this problem. And in this regard, we have to create an awareness. So for that reason, apart from this, we will be hearing from the different countries and we will be hearing about different experiences. And this is also important that these participants from foreign countries will hear from our experiences, and this will create an opportunity for building relations. And in terms of national and international regulations, the fundamental right of an individual is to access to education. And of course, I also would like to mention that on behalf of my country, on behalf of Turkey, Istanbul, is that in the field of special education, we have already covered a long distance. And as the chief of section of the special education department, as a civil servant, I have to emphasize this. And apart from this, this is also, I would like to emphasize this as a parent of a student who needs special education. So, of course, we have to be aware of our responsibilities and liabilities and endeavors. So I believe that we will be walking the way all together hand in hand. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for this meaningful and sincere talk. And now I would like to give the floor to the head of department of Head Ebubekir Aydın from the Ministry of National Education. Thank you very much, Ms. Enis. Distinguished participants, this project is being supported by the European Union, which is also supported within the fifth grant scheme, Special Education Symposium with all aspects from inclusion to integration, spastic children, if I exist, my school is a whole project. Thank you very much for being invited, and I also would like to thank to Spastic Children's Foundation of Turkey, as well as to Mr. Ismail Gürlek, who is the president. This project has a comprehensive content, and the general objective, of course, is to increase the inclusion and integration education quality. And in order to strengthen the applications and implementations in our country, we cooperate with the NGOs working in this field, and accordingly, we continue with our studies. As you well know, our ministry, within the regulation of special education, through inclusion and integration, the context has been identified within this regulation for the individuals who have special needs, have got a report for this need, and accordingly, they are included within this inclusion and integration education. So for that reason, our director generals, which provide service in all levels, they obey and stick to this regulation. And within this context, we identify the policy, and as well as that, we try to ensure our students to be within an atmosphere with their peers, and we make an effort to do so. For example, we provide certain materials and tools, and we provide certain seminars and trainings and many other activities are ongoing by are held by our ministry. Distinguished participants, among the policies of our ministry, in order to enhance and develop the possibilities for the inclusion and integration education, we have the in-service trainings for the teachers. And within this context, as the Director General, with the related Director Generals, we cooperate, and accordingly, we provide services and trainings to the teachers in order to develop their professional competencies, and accordingly we provide the trainings. And we also provide for our administrators, which means that this is a second pillar for the trainings for this group. In order to increase their awareness, we also carry out awareness studies. And in meanwhile, and another important pillar is the families, of course, and accordingly we are planning the information seminars. And while we do this, we carry out these activities with the Provincial Directorate General. And within this respect, related to all aspects for special education, we share all the same objective, target, and the intention with you. And taking this opportunity, I believe that this will be an opportunity for exchange of knowledge and information. And taking once again this opportunity, I would like to extend my thanks to all the ones who have made effort for this organization. And thank you very much, and have a good day. Distinguished Head of Department, thank you very much for your comprehensive talks and remarks. Thank you very much. So distinguished participants, now within the leadership of Mr. Osman Keskin, we will be listening to the promotion